Now we should be on Average Intelligence podcast, which is funny because we talked about Better Man on Toon Talk on Tuesday, but this one's going to
Yeah,
be.
I figured you both like it.
See, here's the thing. Virus loved it. I liked it because I still admit that there we go. It's the right podcast. Obligatory audio check. Yeah, it's the right podcast. Obligatory audio check. Yeah. Can you throw some audio my way, my friend? Obligatory
Audio,
audio check.
bro.
Yeah. We sound beautiful. We sound beautiful. And hey, we just want to let you know this podcast is being brought to you by our friends at Again and Forever and Revival, Book One of the Unveiled Book Series. And if you don't like it, fuck off. And that's basically what you need to know about Robbie Williams and
Blah,
why I like him so much. Oh, come on.
blah,
Okay.
blah.
Okay. So here's the thing.
It's so odd. Like I don't see how it's getting such high ratings. Like it was movie was garbage.
Okay, we're gonna get into that here in a moment, but the first thing I want to address is the giant monkey in the room. So, for those of you that subscribe to this podcast, you know that the fellow on my chest and the fellow sitting behind my co-host there has been in existence since the year 2020.
Rocking through it.
And here's the funny thing, because Virus actually brought this up when I told him we're considering legal action for intellectual property theft because the the chimp in a suit as a personification of a person, in this case, two people, more so a point of view. But anyway, you know what I'm saying. Particularly a blue suit. This is something that we came up with in 2020, and yet in this film, in Better Man, there is a scene which, admittedly, is pretty fucking cool, and it's what made me actually want to first see the movie. I forget the name of the street because I'm not from the UK, but it's the bit where the boy band signs the big contract. Spoiler alert for Better Man. But if nothing happens in that movie that didn't happen already in the 90s and on, so fuck off. Anyway, there's a bit where he takes off his like what would you call those like just normal like punk kid clothes and they're all wearing blue suits, but the chimp in the blue suit bears a striking resemblance to this fellow. An uncanny resemblance, and here's what I think, Your Honor. I think because we do have people that listen to this show in the UK and have seen our logo. I think that Robbie Williams and or this film director are fans and they said, "You know what? These guys are all right. They got a good idea, yeah. But the thing is, we know they ain't got an audience. So we're gonna steal that shit, put it on a movie, and our movie's gonna get massively famous. Well, pay up. That's all I'm gonna say.
We're over here waiting.
They're over here waiting for. See, listen, I'm a dirty capitalist. Yeah,
Can Dolby have some more chicken, sir?
chicken.
That stupid meme.
I don't know why I'm doing the bad British accent, but let me know what you think of the British accent in the comments because I'm trying to imitate a very specific one. I'm not very good at the high British, but I can do the like hick accents fairly decently. But anyway,
I actually forgot we're live. I thought we were streaming or recording.
nope, we're live.
Be live.
We're live where we belong.
Right
But that being
back
said,
where we belong.
apart from just being generally offended, here's the thing about this movie. Okay, and this is what I explained to Virus, and I'm going to now explain to all of you if you didn't watch that podcast. I was initially hesitant to watch this movie because there's basically two things that the marketing department of this movie did not understand or at least didn't acknowledge is the fact that for reasons which we'll get into, Robbie Williams is not known in the United States. Like he's just not, which is when you find out how popular he is in a lot of the rest of the world, that's kind of mind-boggling, but it happens. There are just musicians that don't carry over into the States or internationally. Like there are plenty of American musicians that just aren't known outside of the US. Normal thing, Canada as well, and Mexico. Basically any country that has recording equipment. But the other thing is the marketing department from, I'm presuming, Paramount, because they're the distributor of the film, They did not take into account that Americans really don't like being told what to do, particularly by the British.
No, not at
And,
all.
and so when you see an ad come across your TikTok or social media, wherever you are, and it says, "Hi, go watch this movie about a monkey that can sing," we're all just like, "Fuck you and your crown."
Looks like they need some freedom.
I will say this though. After learning a bit more about Robbie Williams, I mean, I know he's a Brit, but he's an American at heart. He may not admit it, but he's got a bit of a Yank streak in him. Not just because he married an American and lived here for a time. He actually sold his home to DJ Khaled. I forget what
I
year.
just can't believe all the apparent hits he has, and I've never even heard of him
But
like at
here's the
all.
thing, man. It's crazy because I mean the song catalog is massive because I mean he's been active since 1995 and he hasn't really stopped. I mean obviously there are breaks, but he's never really had, at least as
Was
far as I
he?
know.
I'm assuming that he never actually truly broke through. Then, like, I mean, because if you broke through, the whole world would know you.
So there, and this is coming
I
from,
think he broke through locally.
well, no, he broke through pretty much in the rest of the world, but here's the bit though, and this is coming from our friend Virus Fox, is apparently in the early 2000s, like 2000, 2001, he was set to do like a big release here in the States, and then he was doing an interview, and now I can't remember. Should really ask Virus to illuminate me. But basically, something happened with a journalist, and he basically said, "Fuck off," yeah. And then the industry kind of, and the other thing too that you'll learn as you learn more about Robbie Williams, you know that. See, let's get in our time machine for a minute. Go back
Dude, they
to.
should have ran with that because then at that time, Punk was like pretty big.
I
That would have made
agree,
him very popular.
except here's the
They
thing though.
didn't. Okay,
Well, no, no,
they
no,
were
no,
smart.
no, no. Here's the thing though. Let's get in our time machines. Go back to I'd say probably 1997 to 2005. Put yourself back in that headspace if you're old enough, and if you're not old enough, then shut up and listen.
You
So
said
this was
95, 2005.
more like 97, but yeah, I mean 95 to 2005, that decade, that 10-year span. This was a time where the celebrity, like, don't get me wrong, the celebrity existed, but it kind of took on a whole different feel. Like it became much, much grander, much, much greater, kind of in a way where the image of the star was, I mean, billions were spent on protecting the image of the star, i.e., when Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake were dating, they made it they were very clear in the media. It's like, oh yeah, but they don't have sex. They didn't. If they were dating at all, if they were dating, they absolutely. And actually, Justin Timberlake kind of did a like wink and a nod a few years back, saying like, oh yeah, we never, when we were dating, we never had sex. You know,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. And Robbie and drug use and the like, because like Britney Spears' drug and alcohol abuse was massively kept a secret for years until years after it was, going on.
I had no clue.
Well, I know, but that's what I'm saying is they spent billions to keep that out, and it was all kind of like, okay, kind of like how the news media today is in cahoots with the White House. That's kind of like how the media was with, the record labels and the movie studios and that kind of stuff. So Robbie Williams was somebody who went through all the same stuff associated with fame. The difference is he talked about it, and when they told him to shut up, he gave him the finger. And a lot of people didn't like it, but for some reason in the UK, they appreciated it. It never broke through in America, probably because they didn't let him, Because here's
Of
the
that
dirt.
one interview? No way.
It
Like
was more than it
I
was
know it
more than
seemingly
that, though.
happened in the movie, but it's like no way.
Yes, way. If because these okay, the
At that time,
people
because honestly the media they owned these musicians back in the day. That's why only certain
exactly.
bands were popular, and then some bands weren't, like, and then we had to
The
discover our
Billboard,
own.
yeah, the Billboard Top 100 is curated, folks. I hate to break it to you.
Oh, absolutely.
Like
Tom McDonald proved that several times.
Precisely. Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Now, again, Robbie Williams is very, very big in the UK. He's kind of ubiquitous. I would say kind of like Justin Timberlake is here, but he's older, obviously. But kind of the same
Mhm.
trajectory and sort of the same where, he never really stopped. He got into different things too, but he never really stopped doing the music bit. Except Robbie, I think, was more involved with music. Again, I'm learning a lot about the guy right now, so I'm not well versed as somebody from the UK would be. But I'm telling you what, the more interviews I watch with the guy, the more I like him because he just doesn't bullshit people. Like,
He sounds all right, but I mean, as per the movie, nah. Dude, I don't care for all the singing. I had to turn off what was it, Folio Dude? Did you end up watching that?
yes,
Joker
now
2?
that movie was bad. As
I had to shut it off. At
it's not
first, dude,
good.
it was really good. It was starting to be really good until they started singing like constantly, and then it just always like,
You're
what?
you're not
Why are
you're
you?
you're not big into musicals though, are you?
I love music and I love singing and everything like that, but I can't stand musicals like at all.
See, that's
Like
really funny
I
to
don't
me
have
because
patience
this
for them. Some
yeah,
of
yeah,
them
yeah,
break
yeah, yeah,
through.
yeah, 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 yeah. But I guess my point with this one is, to me, it makes sense that this would be a musical, and it didn't even really feel like a musical. It felt like a musician biopic because that's what it was.
Mhm.
And like, obviously, there's going to be songs in it because it's about a singer. But where to begin? So, a brief plot synopsis. So, Better Man follows the life story of Robbie Williams, a famous in the UK recording artist. But the bit, sort of the bit that separates this movie from everything else is that, and this is the problem I have with the movie, Robbie views himself as, quote, less evolved, in quotes. So he perceives himself as an anthropomorphized chimpanzee. Now, here's my problem with that, as far as the movie is concerned, is okay, there's something they could have done very, very easy at the beginning of the film to make this make sense, make it make more sense. Because I'll be honest, for me at least, it was jarring at first, but eventually you just kind of got used to it and it didn't. There are still a few shots that are kind of weird because he's a chimp, but all they would have had to do is when they start out the movie with young Robbie, is start out with a normal looking kid. And then he's going through the bit. He's like, "Oh, this is how I view myself." And then you pan to have him looking at himself in the mirror, and that's where you see the chimp. And then for the rest of the movie, he's a chimp. Like it's
See,
whatever.
that would be okay.
Yeah. Now the other reason
It
they
was
did it,
odd.
yeah. Well, here's the other reason they did it, and this is why I don't hate it, but I think they could have just done a slightly better job
Still less
narratively.
involved other people.
No, the reason they did it is because the bulk of the movie, Robbie Williams is playing himself,
Mhm.
and Robbie Williams is 50,
Lame.
and the film spans his entire career, so it would be very hard to have the real Robbie Williams play a 21-year-old Robbie Williams when he's 50. So I
Dude, I
get
will
that.
say this about this movie, like just this movie alone. Like I know a lot of us haven't heard of this Robbie Williams guy, and but like there's a lot of people out there you haven't heard of before, like except for when it came to TikTok. You know that band Super Heaven, that song Daughter? Like, have you ever
No,
heard of that?
mm-mm, I have
It's
not.
very good. It's a very good song. You've probably heard the tidbit they use on TikTok. But that's what I like about stuff like this movie. Like I didn't like the movie, but I like the idea because they brought up somebody from the past that people might discover now and actually like them. So
Yeah, and see, this is where Max and I got. So I'm going to finish the plot summary. It follows him as he joins the boy band Take That back in the 90s when he was 15, and basically his rise to fame and, the trials and tribulations. There's a lot of moments in this movie that are really um, raw and emotional. I'm trying not to sound like all the paid ads that are like Better Man is like a wonderful, great thing that is really introspective and they use a bunch of words that don't really mean anything, but they're doing it because Paramount's paying them. Paramount is not paying me, but Paramount, while I got you, okay? Because I'm one of the few people that's actually saying nice things about your movie from the United States. While I got you, we got another show called The Final Frontier. It's a Star Trek watch along. We want that sponsorship, baby. So I will be your dancing monkey if you sponsor the Finer Frontier. I will do that. I
no CGI necessary.
Actually, fun fact, one of the things we comment on all the time when we're going through Star Trek is on Paramount Plus, when you watch Star Trek the original series, they updated a lot of the model work with CGI renderings. And we comment on it almost every episode because some of it looks good and some of it looks horrendously bad. Kind of like this movie. There are certain shots of the chimp that are like most of it's good, just not all of it. And I don't ironically there's an actor that he's dead now, but had he not, you know, done what he did and offed himself, he's the spitting image of a young Robbie Williams. His name was Mark Salling. He was on Glee. Like Google his image and put it next to like a young Robbie Williams. It's like their spitting image. But obviously they couldn't use him, and he's also not British, so I'm sure there's somebody that looks like a young Robbie Williams though. That's all I'm saying.
Did you say Mark Lee?
Mark Salling, Salling.
Wow.
Yeah, don't read what he did. If you know, you know. It's not important.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway,
Yeah, you're looking
back to
up.
the story.
So I mean that's pretty much it. But there's because I'm trying not to spoil it because I really think people should go see this movie. But you can obviously if you don't want to pay to go see it, wait for it to come to Paramount Plus. It's $5.99 a month. You cheap fuck. Like just watch it. Now, kind of going into it. The thing about this movie is there are moments that are really, really, really emotional if you've gone through something similar. And see, the thing about Robbie Williams is he seems to have gone through a lot of shit in his life. So, like for example, I'm not gonna name names, but there's a scene in the movie where it's not really ruining anything. So there's a part of the movie where Robbie starts dating a girl who's in a girl band in the UK, and during the course of their relationship, they get pregnant. Now, the girl's manager, it's implied because they don't come out and say it, it's implied that the manager strong arms her into terminating the pregnancy for the sake of her career. Now, I know someone who had a very similar experience, and for him, that part of the movie was really rough, and I get it because they don't I mean, obviously they don't show it, but they don't sugarcoat it either. Like it's very clear what's happening without being gratuitous and staying on it too long. So for him, that moment was really, really emotional. For me personally, the ending of the movie is what really got me, where he's got that moment with his dad. Now that one I'm not going to ruin because that's a great scene if you've ever had like a reconciliation with a parent. See, for me, that's where it got me, right?
It was a sweet touch.
But I guess my
Felt like
point is,
one of the
I
only
guess
enjoyable ones.
it was good, right? The
It
end was
was.
good. But my thing
There were
is,
several good moments too. Plenty of laughs. Like
that's true. There are some greatly funny moments in it. There really are. Like, and the thing I've come to really like and appreciate about Robbie Williams is the fact that he truly doesn't give a fuck. Like, he just doesn't care. And the
so. All
reason
right. No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
I was
You
just
got a
one thing.
point.
The reason I respect him for it is because he, from what I gather, he was like this before he had fuck you money.
Ah,
It's
okay.
it's from what I understand, he's been this way since he was 15. It's not like some people, and
Wow.
I'm not faulting them for this, but it's a lot easier to not care when you have fuck you money, you
All
know.
right. Listen, since we're talking about UK people, Rick Astley, why did he never pop off other than just that one song? Do you know what happened to him?
Yeah, he's still act. Oh God, this is so embarrassing.
I
Okay.
know you're a fan. This is why I'm putting you on this.
I'm a massive Rick Astley fan, and here's the funny thing: is it started as a joke. Okay, so I'm going to tell the story. This is how my Rick Astley fandom began. So I had actually never heard that song until the episode of Family Guy where they spoof Back to the Future.
This is why I'm important. Go ahead.
So I'm listening. I'm like, it's kind of catchy. Like it's funny. So I look up the song and it's by this guy named Rick Astley, who for the longest time I thought he was black because I didn't see his face. I just assumed he was black. And then I see a picture. I'm like, this Irish looking motherfucker sounds like this. So I started doing this thing on Facebook where I liked Rick Astley's, fan page. Actually, it's his official page. And anytime something came across my feed, I would love it, specifically love it with a heart and share it. And I was just waiting because I'm a weird guy. I do these things that I jokingly call social experiments, and I just
He's
do
a bit
them
quirky.
a bit cheeky. But actually, I don't even know what cheeky actually means. If you're from the UK, can you define that for me? Like, cause yeah. Anyway, so
It's like arrogant.
is it? I don't know.
I think so.
Okay,
Like
now I'm gonna look
getting a
this up.
bit cheeky.
See, I always thought it meant like kind of like cheeky.
I thought like was funny, but like, and then like
Oh,
I'm
okay.
hearing how they were using it, and it was like kind of like arrogant, like asshole-ish.
Okay, so yeah, impudent or irreverent, but typically in an endearing or amusing way. Okay, I guess I am a bit cheeky. Anyway, so I'm doing this social, and I'm doing it, and I'm waiting for somebody to ask me what's going on. That's what I'm doing. That's my MO. And then finally, after doing this for like 3 or 4 months, my at the time father-in-law, we were visiting. He just asked me. He's like, "I got a question for you," and I'm like, "Shoot!" And he's like, "What the fuck is up with the Rick Astley shit?" And then I just die laughing, and then I explain it to him, and he starts doing it. And it becomes a running gag between the two of us for years, culminating in one year for Christmas for his gift. I got him the Rick Astley's Greatest Hits CD.
Oh
And
man.
we just so happened to be watching the semifinal in the NCAA playoffs that year. And we made the 3 hour drive to Atlanta. And guess what we forced the women to listen to all the way there and all the way
What was it? Just his one song on all the
No,
tracks?
no, no, the whole album. And holy crap, here's the thing. It's a funny album. Because that song's actually good, but I forget what year. I think it was in 2017 he debuted his album 50 because he turned 50 then. It's got some pretty good. It's a real gospel sounding album without being actually. I mean, I guess it would be gospel musically speaking, but it's pretty good. Keep Singing's good, and there's another one that I just can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah. I'm a genuine Rick Astley fan, but I started doing it for the lulz.
I like his covers.
Oh, okay. What's your favorite cover he's done?
I think he did. You just put me on the spot, and I can't remember what it was.
Haha, because Robbie
I want.
Williams does a lot of covers.
Why do I feel like I want to be weird and say I think it was Teen Spirit.
If he
I'm
did, I
not
didn't
kidding
know
you.
about that. I mean, I wouldn't be
I don't know.
surprised.
You should look it up.
Rick Astley smells like Teen Spirit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he did do a cover. Oh wait, hang on. I think that might be a spoof video. Um,
Damn, I was trying to see if it'd Rickroll you. I don't know if he did that
no, I don't think
one.
so. But he did play with the Foo
I
Fighters.
lied. But no, I think he did he play with Foo Fighters, but I think he did a cover of their one of their songs. Like
Yeah, I think that's what I'm thinking of. Yes, when I think he joined them on stage, so I don't know if it was a cover or a collaboration, but yeah.
because
But yeah,
I've watched a couple of them. Well, I'm fairly certain he did My Girl,
probably,
Temptations.
probably.
But
The
dude, I watch a lot of famous musicians do covers, dude. It's actually fun. You said Robbie does Robbie
Robbie
Williams does covers.
Robbie does a lot of like Rat Pack style covers. Like he's done a cover, obviously, of My Way. We talked
Frank
about that.
Sinatra
Frank
style.
Sinatra. He did a cover of Somewhere Beyond the Sea. Um, somebody said, I don't know if this is true, but I had read it. I haven't had time to verify. Somebody said that the version that's at the end of Finding Nemo that they play is actually the Robbie Williams cover. I don't know if that's true. He does a pretty decent. The song Mac the Knife. You know,
I
he
think.
he does a version of that. It's not my favorite, but it's not bad. Like it's pretty good. Robbie's originals are kind of, at least because
Ver-
I barely dug into it, but I found I've already found quite a few of his, solo songs that I really, really like.
I found no pleasure in his music. I'm sorry.
You got to dig deeper, buddy. Did you listen to Rock DJ?
I didn't like it.
You didn't like Rock
I
DJ?
didn't
That's an
didn't
acquired
like it.
taste. I'm trying to think of some of the. You might like more of his rock-esque stuff, less of his pop stuff,
Well, maybe.
maybe.
I don't know.
But yeah, overall, I would say I actually enjoyed the movie quite a bit. I highly recommend it. I the thing that I can't get Virus to understand though is that this movie is not for everyone, and that's okay because it's not everyone's cup of tea, as they say across the pond. Actually, do they say that in England, or do they only say
I
that
don't
here?
know. I think shit out of luck.
No, I feel like that's an American expression that started with the Boston Tea Party. This is nobody's cup of tea. Oh gosh. Yeah, though I do. It was funny though because I've been commenting on a couple of the TikToks saying like, no, actually, it's a good movie. I went and saw it last night, and like people are arguing with me, telling me I didn't go see it, telling me I didn't like it, telling me that I got paid to say it. I'm like, truly, I wish I got paid to say it.
The story underneath the musical was good.
Yeah,
I just can't do the
the
constant
the
like
music, the
breaking into song.
musicality. Yeah, the music. Well, I mean, but he's a musician, so
I know, but like even then, like not all musicians like breaking song out of everything. That's kind of
I
annoying.
think there's really only one moment where that happens that's not part of the narrative, and
I know, but I don't
that's when they
know.
do Rock DJ. Which you know that sequence cost them over $1 million.
You're kidding.
Nope. Partially because they had it booked, and then I think it was when the Queen died. They were supposed to shoot it, and then they got delayed for like 5 months and had to repay all the permits and all that jazz. So it's not like they wasted the money on purpose, but
Do you know if Robbie Williams like was interested in making this movie or if he was
yeah, he
it was
was part
brought
of it.
to him?
I don't know what the genesis of it was, but I know that he was heavily involved even in the script writing process because there's a video with Gary, who's his face, who was the kind of like the leader of the boy band, who I guess they're on friendly terms now. But I guess Robbie sent him the first copy of the script, and he said, "Mate, I come off worse than Darth Vader in the first Star Wars movie, and it's
Watch this. I guarantee you that some of his from this movie because it's pretty popular. It's actually got good ratings despite mine. But like you're gonna have I guarantee you're gonna have some people on TikTok using his songs and stuff now.
a guarantee." And see, that's the thing. And this is so. Virus and I are still arguing about this because to me, now I guess the thing is he's partially right because he says Robbie Williams doesn't care if he gets big here or not, and I'm like, I don't think that's true. I think he's always kind of, probably deep down, he's always kind of wished that he was a bigger name in the States. I think he's come to terms with it. But I think he and certainly Paramount and whoever his record label is right now are certainly hoping that this sparks some Robbie Williams interest in the States. I mean, Paramount, obviously, because they want their movie to make money.
Dude, hold on one sec. Isn't it crazy that all the musicians or whatnot, or even actors from other countries, they want to make their names huge in the United States only. Like every single one from every other country want to make their names huge in the United States, and then literally, but when somebody gets famous in the United States, they want to be just known worldwide. But these other people, like, I just want America's attention because they know that's where the bread and butter comes from.
Well,
USA.
they know that success in the States leads to worldwide, generally speaking.
Exactly. I know. I'm being sarcastic.
Well, no, no, you're right though, because I mean, the Beatles knew before they took the world they would need to take the states, and that's
And
exactly
boy,
what
they
happened.
did. Holy
And
shit.
boy, I did. Well, I did. Still don't know how the fuck they did it, but boy, they did.
Sorry to throw you off.
No, you didn't. We're discussing British musicians. It's going to happen.
Exactly. Yeah.
Although I
And
did.
speaking of British musicians, the Beatles,
Fuck them.
or even Bring Me the Horizon, they're pretty decent.
Bring Me the Horizon's decent. I did see, however, as a preview for when I went and saw Better Man, they're bringing out, and of course now I've forgotten the name of it. They're doing this really comprehensive documentary about Led Zeppelin that I'm kind of
No
stoked for.
way.
Yeah, it looks really good. It
Don't tell
looks.
me you've never got the lead out.
No, I love the best moment in the trailer is like, I know we're gonna be Led Zeppelin. It's like that's a bloody awful name, but we couldn't think of anything else, so we'll be Led Zeppelin.
Boy, it works. Boy, it works.
It doesn't. It doesn't, honestly, because to this day people are like, I don't know what it is, but
What, Led
sounds
Zeppelin?
good. Yeah,
Oh, I don't even pay attention to the names.
I
Like
mean, like I know what a
I
Zeppelin is, but
right. I don't know what a Zeppelin is. I know what the zipper is.
no, a Zeppelin's the big like blimp thing.
No way.
Yeah,
That's a Zeppelin?
it's a specific
So
kind of blimp, but yeah,
and they're not Led Zeppelin. It's not Lead. It's LED. So
LED.
it's
Yeah,
a it's an LED blimp. They need to update their name for modern
LED.
times.
No. Oh my God.
LED blimp.
Somebody, please start a social media thing where you go up to like Gen Zers and be like, what's the name of this band? I guarantee you the vast majority will say LED Zeppelin. I guarantee you that's a thing that will happen. Now I kind of want to do it. I just don't know that many Gen Zers. In fact, I know more Gen Alpha than Gen Z.
LED Zeppelin?
LED Zeppelin?
That's exactly what'll
That's
happen.
what they would say.
Dude, these kids don't know nothing about anything like VCRs, answering machines.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
There's so much technology that is literally lost between one generation.
God, now I feel old because they've got like Walkmans, not even Walkmans, just portable CD players with G-Skip technology in museums now, dude.
Dude, I begged my mom. Do you remember that one CD player I had? It was silver and it was like one of the best ones ever. Is like it was Sony and had like the most comfortable headphones and it sounded great. I
Headphones that went
begged my mom for money.
over your ears.
Oh, yeah, but like they were not like this, but like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
just slender, but like they looked like the cheap headphones that you would get with a cheap CD players, but they said Sony on them and they had amazing sound quality. Anyway, I begged for months and I don't even know where that damn CD player is.
I wonder, it'll probably still work though. Those things were like cockroaches, like they
Thanks.
were indestructible. We threw a couple of ours to test the
Yeah,
G-Skip
I
capability.
that's true. I did get many of those because of my Goodwill job. I
Ah,
don't want to
right.
say anything else.
That time. Statute of limitations still hasn't run out.
I don't know.
No, but I will say this. As much as I enjoyed the movie, I am legitimately kind of peeved.
Talk about side hustles.
Yeah, I am legitimately peeved though because we're being serious now. We're considering legal action against the film and its creators for intellectual property theft because I just feel like we were never given credit. The British are trying to rob us again, man. And as true Americans, it is our responsibility to fight this injustice and tell those crown loving fucks from across the pond what for.
I'm pouring my Lipton iced tea out right now.
I think Lipton's an American company.
I don't even care.
I don't even care.
What are we yelling about?
But you know what you should care about? And I know you've heard this song. Um, we talked about sponsors all the time. Another piece of music you should check out, or another musician you should check out rather, is our friends over at Again and Forever. And this month they're going to be debuting the first single of their new album, which is, let's see, it says a long ass name, Chronicles of a Serial Killer: The Last Supper Reimagined. Ha, got it. And their first single is going to be a reimagining of Chop Suey. And here is a snippet for your enjoyment.
Breaking news, Charles Manson, the infamous cult leader who led a string of murders in the 1960s.
opened the wrong
Oh
game
yeah.
screen. But yeah, I know that you got to hear that song pretty early on, and I know you texted me or talked to me about it later, and I'd already heard several versions of it.
Yeah, I think I got a non-mixed version, so I'm
Yeah,
excited to hear the final.
well, no, I think you got the non-master, or did you hear the one that did or didn't have vocals?
I heard the one with vocals,
Okay, so yeah,
but
you heard
I
the
don't think it was
pre-mastered.
mastered.
No, certainly wasn't mastered because I don't even think I've heard the mastered version, and if I have, it was only one time. But so look forward to that. I will say this as somebody who really doesn't like System of a Down, it's the best that song's ever sounded.
Dude, I love System of a
I've
Down.
never
I
liked
love
them,
them
dude.
ever since their first. No, I didn't know about Sugar, the first album they had, but the second one they had, Toxicity, dude. My buddy Beasley, you know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
He let me borrow that CD, dude. And I burned it up. Like I didn't even go to bed one night. I literally just played it over and over and over and over and over.
Were you
Like
there
I
when
just
were you there when we got well when I got because it was just released Linkin Park's
my
technically
special friend.
no, technically it was their third album, but I call it their second because Reanimation was just a remix album. But Meteora,
Mhm.
we took it to my house and just listened to it all night. It's a good
Dude,
album.
that
It's a really good
was a
album.
great that was a great album.
That's one of
Rest
the
in peace,
rare,
Chester.
yeah, that's one of the rare cases where like an entire album is just bangers. Like every song on that album is good. Hybrid Theory was the same way though. Um,
See,
I,
I've had several albums like that for me. Chevelle had quite a few of them for me, and then they kind of fell off, but
yeah,
they're still good.
I just never got into Chevelle. I'm not saying they're bad. I just never. The only other album I can think of that did that was Velena's "Save Me from Myself." Like every song on that album is genuinely good. Like obviously you have your favorites, but there's no song that I skip on that album. Of course, people don't listen to albums anymore. It's an old man thing.
No, just song after song, and when they get released, and then that's it. No album. It's just look out today on the internet.
Actually, going back to Robbie Williams, there is a song. I don't know if you've heard it, but I think you might like it. It's a bit different. It's "Come Undone."
Mm.
You might search that up after we're done here because it's. I'm not gonna say like it's not metal, obviously, but it's kind of a more. It's a harder song, but the lyrics are really good. It's a really good, powerful song. And then
I'm only
also,
here for the lawsuit, dude. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah, you know what? When I get my fucking money, then I might listen to that fucker's music. Until then,
He's gonna buy me a studio.
the sad thing is he's so cool. He'd probably be like, "All right, fuck these Hollywood."
I'll be like, I don't want a huge one, just want one big enough for all instruments, and then a studio room with podcast room.
Just want a little one.
Just a wet one.
I honestly can't think of another movie that was doing what this what this movie did because like
No,
all the other
it's original. It's very original. Like
oh,
I don't know.
I didn't even mean the chimp thing. I'm talking about how they just
No,
shove
the whole
somebody,
movie.
yeah, just shove somebody that Americans have just never heard of and been like this movie because even though it's someone you don't know, because like obviously you got Rocket Man, but everybody knows who fucking oh my God, Elton John. Why did I blank on his name? I was like, everybody knows who Elton John is, and Bohemian Rhapsody. I mean, who doesn't know who Queen is? Actually, I take that back. I've shown Bohemian Rhapsody to people that had never listened to. But here's the thing about Queen. Okay, you may like there are plenty of people who don't know who Queen is, but they know their songs. They just don't know who it is, right? That's the thing because the I've shown Bohemian Rhapsody to a couple people, and they were like, "Oh, that's Queen." I'm like, "Yeah." It's like
Dude,
you
the
know who
internet
Queen
has
is.
so much content that people have not found, and I don't understand why they're not out there searching. And there are younger kids now on TikTok talking about discovering older bands, and it's some of the bands that we like, and it's like, dude, Absolutely. I saw somebody repping who was it, Breaking Benjamin or something like that the other day and
Dude,
talking about older music. I was like,
I've told this story before, but I went to a concert and it was Disturbed was the headliner, but Breaking Benjamin, Saint Asonia, Alter Bridge, and Breaking. I think I said did I say Breaking Benjamin already?
Saint Asonia, dude. Like
Yeah.
that's that's Adam Gontier from the original lineup of 3 Days Grace.
Yep. Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
I didn't know that at the time. I'm like, this dude sounds familiar. And
Did
then
they
when I
do any
learned that,
covers of 3 Days Grace when they played?
not that I'm
Normally
aware
they
of,
did. They would. Oh, that sucks.
I don't know.
Maybe
But
different.
yeah, so
Yeah.
at that concert, like I knew who I didn't know who Saint Asonia was at the time, but I knew everybody else. And I'm
Mm.
sitting there listening to Breaking Benjamin set, and I'm like, damn, I forgot how good these guys are. And then I see a crowd in the crowd, a few rows in front of me. There's two girls that couldn't be a day over 15, like they're really young, and they're wearing Breaking Benjamin shirts. And I'm just like, that's really cool that this band is resonating with a younger generation because this would have been 15 years after their, like their first heyday. So probably they were hitting their, their big come up when these kids were born.
I think like 2000 I think 2001.
That early? Oh, okay, I was thinking more like three, four.
I think they had Saturate was their first album. I think it was
Yeah,
2001.
but didn't is was that before or after he basically fired the band and
No, that was he didn't fire the band until after they already had like most of their huge hitting albums out. Like
okay, that's what yeah, okay.
Dear Agony is honestly where I thought he started going downhill.
Really? I like that album.
No, that the album signed, but I think anything after
Oh, the
that was
song.
like
Oh, okay, I gotcha, I gotcha.
everything new comes out. It's okay. They just actually just put out a new song not even a few weeks ago. It's pretty good.
No, I haven't heard it yet.
So I my statement I might recant it when they release that album. It might be a good album.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they'll surprise you, dude. My whole thing too is I think if Robbie Williams wants to get big in the States, I think he needs to collaborate with some American artists and producers, which I think is
Hmm.
coming. I think that's gonna come.
It's like, dude, he's only 50. It's like, get back out there, man.
Oh, I know. Well, that's the thing. He never
Quit
really
sitting over
stopped.
there and just complaining over your cup of tea.
Well, no, and the other thing too is I bet you I don't know if he lives in this. I don't think he lives in the States anymore, but he did for a time.
Yeah, and you need to clear this up, man.
Yeah, you need to clear this up. So you're gonna be coming over here anyway, motherfucker. So we did it first. And listen, you can have your movie, you can have your cute little monkey movie. I just want my cut.
Listen,
Russell
I
Brand's our
love the
lawyer.
UK because they came out with some pretty good stuff. Shaun of the Dead, fantastic
The
movie.
United States.
Uh, yeah, exactly. You
Greatest
guys
hits.
inspired the United States. That's
No,
pretty good.
actually, England does have a lot of good stuff because like our laws and judicial system are a direct offshoot of British common law. So we took a good concept and made it better, like we do everything.
True.
Like kicking ass, we did that too. Brits were like, "Oh yeah, we own the seas." We're like, "Oh yeah, watch this." That's where we got our accent. We were like, "Oh yeah, watch this." Fuck you.
We're just like Texas.
Just one word. There's like the only part I like in the movie Lincoln is the joke he tells. It's like God, I tried so hard to like that movie, but I just couldn't. It's so which this means a lot coming from me. A historical biopic I found slow. Okay. I thought it was boring. So that should tell you something. But Lincoln's telling the joke about how he was somewhere with a British diplomat in England and he's in the bathroom and there's a portrait of George Washington over the toilet. And he comes out and I don't think this actually happened. This is just a joke he would tell. Anyway, he comes out of the bathroom and the British, lords are kind of chuckling. They're like, you know, how do you like our portrait of your first president? And he said, well, I think it's the most appropriate place to have a portrait of George Washington. And they're just looking at him kind of confused and they're like, what do you mean by that? And he says, well, there's only one thing that's a surefire way to make a British, general shit his pants, and that's George Washington.
Dude. You know, it's even funnier because I instantly think of Shane Gillis when
I do
he's
too. Oh,
talking
dude,
about
I've been waiting to organically think of.
oh, it's George.
No, dude, I do love that bit. He was like, they were like, "It's a miracle we won the revolution." He's like, "I know how we did it." Got
He's like,
this
we got a 6'2"
six
retard.
foot two ginger with fucking animal teeth out there. Dude, I've recently discovered I forget what Shane Gillis's podcast was. I think still is, but
I don't know, but I need to watch more of him, so I need more content, Shane.
so if there's I don't know if it's his official channel or if somebody is just like curating this stuff, but there's these videos I've discovered where they're labeled as Professor Shane Gillis Talks History. It's wonderful. It's hilarious stuff. Like Shane Gillis should teach a history class on YouTube just in his mannerisms. That'd be hilarious.
Do you think he is a history buff?
He's a
Because he
massive
seems
history
like
buff. He's just
I was gonna
bust.
say he seems like it.
Oh yeah, no, dude. The whole George Washington, like you have to know history of George Washington to come up with those bits. That's why
I
they're
had
funny.
no idea, but dude, that was funny. I love it when they're like, "This is a big day for this guy."
It
I just
nicked
love
me.
it. He says, I'll give him a little.
No, that's a great bit. Oh fuck, look out. That's a great
Dude,
special. That's legitimately one of the best stand-up specials I've ever seen.
it was brand new, like it was so original. Like
Beautiful
I don't
dogs.
know, it was beautiful dogs, and his impression is on point. Like I've never heard anyone like
It's only gotten
honestly.
better.
I'm not trying to gloat you, but you honestly have the second best out of anyone I've ever heard, and I've
I
heard a
just
lot of other people do it.
I just ripped off Shane Gillis. That's all I
Oh,
did.
well, regardless, I mean, he does it well, so of course.
Yeah. But no, I loved his bits on the Kill Tony thing when he was Trump and then they had that
Dressed
other
as.
yeah, oh I love they have that I forget her name, but she was a girl comic. She's up there. He totally just steals the spotlight from the guy who's playing Biden. He's like, I touched them backstage. He's like, American tits.
Yeah, who could help Robbie Williams?
Shane Gillis.
Fake Dr. Phil. Dude, I was watching fake Dr. Phil meet real Dr.
Oh,
Phil. And
that's
he
so
walks
great.
up behind
That's
him.
some
He walks up behind him. He goes, "Oh fuck!" Dr. Phil's just giving him a.
I will
But
say
yeah, he
that
has
I'll
the.
give credit where credit's due. Dr. Phil has a sense of humor.
Yeah, but honestly, Dr. Phil's coming out on the right side. Like, I don't mean like literally politically. I mean just the right side. That's pretty cool.
Well, but I mean, it's like so the only like holy crap, I feel really bad for the people in LA right now because it's like
Oh
they
yeah, with
didn't
the fires.
they didn't ask for that shit. Like,
Mm-mm. Their governments did by not cleaning up the brush.
well,
The one
there's
thing you
a
need to do with the forest, you have to go in and clean up the brush. I know it costs lots of money, but you're not paying for it. This is what happens.
I'm sure there's somebody though that literally just sold a giant house and is like, we're getting the fuck out of here, and they turn on the TV and they just did one of these. They just went. You know?
No, no, they're probably like,
Mm,
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 mm, mm. Oh,
mm.
oh, God.
Best movie ever.
Hey, Shane
We've
Gillis needs to
completely
do.
diverted.
It's okay. Shane Gillis needs to do more movies. So that's what we're gonna do. That's what we're gonna do when we sue Robbie Williams and win.
We're gonna pay for
Which
more
actually,
Shane Gillis movies.
we're gonna finance a Shane Gillis movie. We're gonna have him do a George Washington biopic. Imagine him with a red ponytail wig, just get up there and be like, "I don't like to show my teeth." or smile for obvious reasons.
uh, I keep thinking about that stupid George Washington bit when he was talking about like what was the average height at that time? Like I think he said it was like 5'2" or 5'3",
No, it was tall. I think it was
or
five
was
seven.
it was 5? Was it still around there? Okay, but still, he made it sound like that, and he's like he was 6'2".
That's like 6'9" today.
Oh, it's George.
Oh, it's George. Oh god.
You imagine he's like some 6'2" redheaded ginger running. Ah,
Uh, average height of a man in colonial America was about 5'8".
that's okay. So then, has it changed any? Is it 5'8"
I
or
I think
5'9"
I think
still?
it's 5'9" now. So
Okay.
we got a bit taller, but still, points made. A ginger giant with messed up teeth out there. I see it. I get it. Totally get it. Did you know though? Okay, here's a fun fact. Did you know that George Washington is more than likely responsible for not starting it? How do I word this right? George Washington is probably directly responsible for the incident that led to hostilities in North America during the Seven Years' War, which we know as the French and Indian War.
That's not that's not good.
Yeah, it's legit. Actually, they
Now, no, hold on. Did you say he's possibly or
no no
he is?
no, he's probably directly. I'm gonna just because I wasn't there. I see what happened and I read it as like yeah he made a mistake and kind of it was probably going to happen anyway because the 7 Years War was happening. But
Dude,
so long.
if people actually study history, they're gonna find a lot of discrepancies.
Oh, George Washington was a complete fuck up. That's what's truly funny is like they gave him control of the Continental Army and he had no business doing it. Like on paper, he ended up being really good at it, but on paper, he should have never been considered for the job. But yeah, so apparently what happened was at the time George Washington was a I forget his rank, maybe a colonel, maybe less. But anyway, he was an officer in the British Army and he was leading a scouting party because this is pre-United States, this is still British colonies. And they happened upon a French garrison camping and then something happened where shots started getting fired and then George realized he was in a pickle because this is technically an act of war. Actually, I need to look this up because I don't want to get a detail wrong. So I remember reading about the I remember hearing
George,
Joel, it's George.
I don't,
George
I don't
Washington
like. I know
started.
he was probably in the woods actually to kill these people, but like just hearing him scream like that, it just sounds like a couple little tiny men scared of George Washington running through the woods. Oh, it's George.
Okay, I got it here. Let's see here. Da, 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 da.
Stupidest things make you laugh.
It's George. Okay, so in 1753, Washington was sent as an ambassador from the British crown to the French officials and Indians as far north as present day Erie, Pennsylvania. The following year, he led another expedition to the area to assist the construction of a fort at present day Pittsburgh. Before reaching that point, he and some of his men, along with Mingo out Mingo, the Mingo were a tribe of Native Americans, led by
A mingo, whoa.
Tanakh Harrison, ambushed a French scouting party. Its leader was killed, although the exact circumstances of his death were disputed. This peacetime act of aggression is seen as one of the first military steps leading to the global 7 Years' War. The French responded by attacking fortifications Washington erected following the ambush, forcing his surrender. Released on parole, Washington and his troops returned to Virginia. Okay, so I was wrong. George Washington may have started the 7 Years' War.
And he also knows where DB Cooper is. I don't know.
So yeah. Do you think I Who do you think do you think Robbie Williams is a history buff? I doubt it. He doesn't strike me as the type.
No, Seems kind of dense.
Because if he did, he would have, well, I wouldn't say dense, but if he did, he would have known how cocaine works. He would have known better.
I think I'd like to try me some of that cocaine.
It's non-habit forming. Cocaine is very habit forming.
It'll make all your bad feelings good,
Good.
Dewey.
So
I
okay, so
would.
so Dewey Cox didn't bother you, but Better Man does.
Listen,
The songs are funnier, I'll
when
give
it
you
comes
that.
to autobiographies about certain people, I love it. Like what was it? I haven't seen Rocket Man yet. I heard that's pretty good.
I heard it's good.
Um
I have no interest. I don't like the actor.
well,
I can't explain why I don't like the actor either. I just don't.
Walk
I'm
the Line
still,
was really good. Um
yeah, I'm still sore about being forced to watch Kingsman.
what? That first movie was
See,
great.
everybody says
I
that.
thought it was okay.
I didn't, I
The
don't
the one
like
in the
the
theater
British.
was really good.
That's just it. I don't care for the Brits. I don't.
Dude, I thought it was hilarious that like in the theater, like the chick she says if he saves her, he can put it in the back door or something like that. And he
Yeah.
goes and saves her, whatnot. And then they took that off of all the home video ones and whatnot. And I was like,
See,
that
they
would make
couldn't.
stuff for the home video, but you put it in the theater?
Well, see, when I watched it, it was in there, and I didn't watch it
Oh,
in the
I
theater.
we rented it and whatnot, and it wasn't in there.
Huh.
It was there was no version that we could get like other than pirated online.
That's weird.
I don't know, Jive Turkey.
Dry turkey. How do they talk like that? Dry turkey, maybe.
Dry turkey
So,
with a
so,
bit of gravy.
so just to keep on topic here a bit. So, what was it? Could you point to anything specifically that made you dislike this movie?
To be fair, I cannot say what I need to for certain purposes, but you'll understand. The version was very bad, so it was hard to
Mm.
watch. So I did my best, but the thing is, it was like so muddy and whatnot, and then you couldn't hear anything pop and whatnot, but the few things that I heard, whatnot, it was just kind of like I'm gonna give it a rewatch once it comes out on any of the streaming services. But as for right now, it's similar to when I watched Dragon Ball Evolution for the first time, and I
Ooh,
accidentally
except that
watched it
movie
on
actually was
Cam.
bad.
I know, but I accidentally watched it on Cam first, and then I went to the theater, and I was like, it's still very, very bad. I'm getting the same vibe for me.
Oh,
Maybe
that
it's
might be
like
why you didn't care for the music too, because I will say it sounds great in theater. Oh,
very
another
well.
movie.
It was extremely muddy. So
Did you by chance watch? Because I know we talked about it. Ironically, we talked about it when we went to go see Am I Racist? We saw the poster. That anime Lord of the Rings movie.
yeah, yeah.
Did you watch it?
I have not watched it yet.
It's good.
I'm sorry. Jeez. It okay. What
It's
was it
actually
called again?
War of
Was
the
it
Rohirrim. Yeah, it's actually really good. I liked it, which is funny because I watched a couple videos from critics whose opinions I respect, and here lately though they've been missing the mark. I think they're too ingrained in the online negativity because I watched it and I'm like, this movie's great. Like I don't.
Did you watch it in theaters?
Mhm.
Okay, well I was gonna say because it's at the AMC Perry Crossing up in Plainfield.
Yeah,
I
it's
was thinking
very
about
good.
going, but okay.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. In fact, I went to go see it with my girlfriend and she liked it and she doesn't know anything about Tolkien, so I was like, cool. So now we're
So
starting
wait,
her.
are they gonna? Never mind. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm back with you now. I pulled up a trailer by accident, and for some reason I thought they were gonna make it a live action, and
Oh
then
no.
it went to the yeah, cartoon.
No, honestly, I want more of that stuff because there's so much you can do with Tolkien's Legendarium, and I don't
Hmm.
care if it's. I mean, honestly, animation's great. Like it served it very well. It was a very,
It's
very good
cheaper.
movie.
It's cheaper.
I don't know. This movie looked expensive. The animations, although granted it was a Japanese studio, so they've
They
it was
produce
really good.
results.
They did, man, it was great. It was a very, very good movie. It was quite good, as they say. I also figured when Better Man opened, I kind of got the feeling I was going to like the movie when he talks about, I forget the actual line, but something to the effect of, was like, I've been called many things, including rock star, punchable, and a right fucking twat. He's
See,
like,
I couldn't hear that.
oh yeah, that's the beginning of the movie,
Yeah.
and it's like, yeah, I think if you watch it and it's decent quality, I think you'll,
Legit watching. Yeah,
yeah,
and like I said, so my perception is skewed, but like I said, for most of the story that I could gather, the story underneath was good. I still don't care for the musical parts, but like honestly, they weren't too bad
no. And just to kind of sum up, another example of just
for
kind of
the
summing
audio.
summing up Robbie Williams as a person, in the actual live recording of him singing "My Way" at that event, the music starts and he goes, "You guessed it, folks," and then he said, "If you know the words, sing along. If you don't, sing anyway. Sound crap." He's just like,
Exactly.
I get the reverent vibe from him, and I dig it. I like it. But another thing you guys need to check out is this book right here. And the reason you needed to check it out, other than the fact that it's really, really good, is the fact that this right here, this is going to be a film franchise one day. And you need to get the self published version before a major publisher gets a hold of it and makes a bunch of changes. For example, right now the book is set in Indianapolis. They're going to change that immediately. They're going to change it to a nondescript city or like New York. They're going to change it. There's going to be some things that get tweaked in here, but here is a little blurb telling you about the plot. And then plus if you get yours now, there's a pretty good chance you can get the author to sign it for you and it'll be a collector's item one day. But here is some info on it to pique your interest, and the link to purchase is in the description on Amazon. Paperback or Kindle version. I believe the Kindle version is free, so you have no excuse. The veil between her world and the other realm has faded, unleashing magic into the lives of ordinary citizens. Awakening from a 4-year coma, Tori James discovers a world transformed. For some, like Tori, the unveiling ignites hidden abilities. With her expertise in classical languages, she's drawn into a world of thieves and magic. Join Tori on her magical journey in Book 1 of the Unveiled book series, Revival. Unveil your destiny. It's
If
just
it's a
so hard
book,
to justify, though, because
because it's so easy to stream. You can still stream and everything like that, but just keep your forms of media so they can't so they can't take anything away. Like, oh, okay, oh, I guess I'll dust off my VCR. You still there?
yeah.
Okay. I thought we disconnected for a second.
See, for some reason, your volume just went way down, though.
Did it? Was it maybe because I wasn't too
Oh,
close?
maybe that might be it. I thought it's something I did on my end.
Possibly.
I can hear you now. That was weird. Anywho, yeah. So I give Better Man. I thought it was a solid 90, like 92%. Like it's not perfect. It has some minor issues. And probably the biggest problem is the fact that if you're not intrigued already, you're not gonna even be inclined to watch it other unless somebody drags you to see it, and then you're not gonna like it because you've been dragged to see it. Like I went to go see it.
That's what I felt like.
Well, yeah, because I dragged you to watch it. But mainly because I want people to be aware, but then remind them also that 2020 and that movie 2025. Okay? 5 years later, and particular, I already brought it up at the beginning, but particular when they're doing the scene with Rock DJ and he pulls the street clothes off to reveal the blue suit. Guess what? Chimp in a blue suit. I'm sorry. You owe us some money. I will take British pounds. They convert. I'll take Bitcoin too.
We just want to make our families comfortable.
I just don't want US dollars because those are fucking circling the drain. I'm kidding. They are not.
Yeah, give us some rubles.
Don't give me any rubles. I can't
What about
spend them here.
rupees?
The sanctions will take them away. No, rupees are, I think, well, they're not
Ru-
worse, but
Rupees, we have to go down to the marketplace. Go to the mask shop.
those rupees, okay.
Rupees.
Rupees, oh my God.
I remember some kids would call them out, like, dude, they're rupees. Don't
The
you ever say
rupees.
that again. What is wrong
Stop it.
with you?
Stop it. I think my favorite, I think,
Stop. I'm not a
it's,
monster.
it's George. I'm not a monster.
That was perfect
Hooray!
voice.
England!
Dude, that would be cool if somebody could AI the different faces of those different scenes.
I'm sorry!
Your heart's so tiny. All right, we're rambling.
It's George. No, you should
It's
absolutely
George.
you should absolutely go watch Better Man. Enjoy it. It's quite good. And actually, we've been going a little bit longer than I thought we were. Oh no, I'm sorry. I can't read a clock.
We're right
But
on
yes.
time.
But yes, I enjoyed Better Man. I think it was a very good it was a really good biopic despite the weirdness. And I've said this before, I'll say it again. I still can't justify the chimp thing, but it's not as distracting as you think it is. Like you kind of get used to it really quick and it just becomes kind of irrelevant. So it's a little jarring at first, but thankfully they start when he's a kid, so he just looks like a little freak, you know. It looks like one of those
Yeah,
weird
that's
movies where they adopt like a freak alien kid and then he just becomes an adult and everybody forgot about it. That's kind of the vibe it has.
it's like Piccolo. I was just born 3 fucking days ago.
I'm six.
Exactly.
No, the other one too is when he gets spoiler alert is when he gets the call about his grandma. That's rough.
Mm.
That's a rough scene. And that song Angels, that's probably his biggest hit. It's a really good song, dude. If you're into that kind of stuff, it's really good. I think Come Undone is, well, no, it's similar. But I'll tell you what, the song that I most recently found of his that I've just been kind of listening to nonstop is Mixed Signals. Oh, I remember the other thing I wanted to bring up. Um, there's two. So the number one response I've seen from Americans in comment section is like, I know Robin Williams.
You know, the funny thing is that's honestly what I almost said.
That's
I
been
was
the
like, I
number
don't
one
know
comment
Robbie
I've seen
Williams.
online.
I
And
know Robin Williams.
yeah, other than people being like, I'm not going to see this movie that you're telling me to see, even though that every movie advertisement is telling you to see a movie,
Yeah.
you know.
See, go watch the summer's #1 blockbuster about Scream.
I will say though, the box office isn't looking great for Better Man. Grant, it's been out less than a week, but
Dude, they were like 92% or something like that.
yeah, but the box office numbers aren't doing against a budget of 100 million. I think it's made like now I can't remember. I'm gonna look it up real quick.
I know, is that crazy? Is the dude even worth 100 million?
No, probably pounds, 20 million, 100 million pounds. It is. It's made $10 million. So the film will, in all likelihood, be a box office flop because they're clearly spending a lot of money on this.
No, I don't know. I'm just playing.
I don't know. I remember actually it was during the War for the Rohirrim where I saw the first trailer for Better Man, and I was just looking at it. I'm like, this motherfucker stole our design. And then I'm
What
like,
did you do that for,
this movie looks weird.
George?
George, why they make a movie about a monkey? It's not a monkey, it's an ape.
All right, since I moved back, like, because this thing is directional, like it's a dynamic, so I have to like, I can't be over here.
You gotta get right up in
Um,
it.
I'll go Gale, bend them all. Like, I'm definitely going back to a condenser when I get some money. So
I mean, it's good microphone. You just gotta.
it's it sounds fantastic, but I don't have a boom arm for it because this son of a bitch is heavy, and I just haven't bought one.
I've got one that I'm not using.
Will it fit with an XLR? Like, I don't know.
It should. I don't know.
Okay,
You can give it a shot.
I'll try it. Sure.
Yeah. But yes, in closing, go see Better Man. I highly recommend it from the channel. And then plus, the more money they make, the more
You
we'll get paid.
find a better man. Sorry.
But no, apparently that's a song of his too. But I haven't listened to that one yet. But yeah, what I was saying is, plus the more money this movie makes, the more money they'll be have to pay us. So
It's not
go
looking
see
too
it.
good.
It's not looking great, guys. We need your help. We need this movie to make money so they can pay us. Ah, yes, but any thoughts on Better Man? And then actually, just to let everybody know, this is our new time slot for the moment. We constantly seem to have to change it because life happens because you fuckers don't watch enough of our content for us to start getting paid yet. So we need your help. We need you to go watch Better Man. We need you to go to the theater, right? Buy a ticket, watch Better Man. But while you're watching Better Man, watch our podcast instead.
What
Because
he said.
yeah, because that wouldn't be a waste of money at all.
Not at all.
No,
Not
what
at
you
all,
do,
Frank.
you get there early, right? Because you want to get a good seat because you totally don't reserve seats in movies. That's another thing that kids don't get today. Remember before reserved seating at the movie theater?
You had to show up early to
You
get
just had to show
seated.
up.
And
Well,
the thing is,
even yeah.
you had
And
to
there
make
was a
sure you
chance.
got in line.
And then always you leave the space and then some jackass sits there when there's empty seats in the whole theater or that family comes through. It's like, switch over so we can sit together. Yeah. And
Yeah,
it's like,
kind
no,
of
I
click
left
kiss
I
time.
left an open seat between me and this Captain Fuckface over here who I don't know and I don't want to sit next to. You didn't get
Right.
here early enough.
I will say though, some of the recliner seats and some of the AMC's are pretty decent, but some of them are really close together. Like
Yeah, some of
in
them are a little
order,
uncomfortable.
I'm just like, dude, can you make this thing a little wider? I was like, we shouldn't be sharing elbows.
Oh, bro, when I was in Gatlinburg this past year, we went to go because my girl really wanted to go watch Moana 2, and we went to the theater that's in Pigeon Forge, and I figured this place is going to be like, don't get me wrong, it wasn't dilapidated or anything, but very disappointed to find out there weren't reclining seats, and then I realized why. They don't have to. It's the only movie theater within like, you know, a fairly reasonable distance, and there's a lot of tourists there, so they just suck it up if they want to go watch a movie. And plus, you can fit more seats than non-recliner seating. So it was cheaper, though. I'll give them that. It was cheaper to go there than.
Did you ever look back into the Regal movie pass thingy?
Yes, I haven't done it yet because I just don't go to the movies enough yet.
Man, I got gift cards for Christmas for AMC, and I
Oh
was
yeah.
looking online to see if I could use them to buy the A list, so I could get 12 movies for for a
Well,
gift
the
card,
thing
and
the thing about
they won't
Regal that
let you.
see, but Regal is truly unlimited though per person. So you can see like if you want to go see three movies in one day, you can.
Yeah, but the thing is, there's not even three movies out that
Uh,
pique interest.
That's the thing, dude. Because I still go to the
You would
movies
just be
every now and
essentially
again.
just going to the movies just to watch new movies. And honestly, that might be the way to go because a lot of people won't watch a movie unless they hear mad reviews. And I'm just like, why don't you just go find out for yourself? I mean, the trailer
Well,
might
because
not
it,
always do a
yeah,
thing justice.
just because it got so much more expensive. Like I was talking to somebody the other day, so I remember my parents getting mad that movie tickets were $5, that they'd gotten up to $5. Because when we were younger, our parents would just drop us off at the theater and we'd figure out what we were going to go see.
Hmm.
Like you look at times ahead of time, but like sometimes you just be like, you just get dropped off and then you figure it out, you know?
Yeah, I think we're the last of that generation. I don't think this generation drops off kids at the theater anymore. I don't even
No.
think it's allowed.
Oh no, it's allowed. I mean,
Well, not like under 16.
that's just to get into some movies.
Well, I don't know. Like, there's a lot
It
of
would
them.
raise
They
some
say they have
eyebrows
to have a
though.
kid,
Oh,
a
that's right.
parent.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They have to be supervised, but well, that's because
Not,
today, like if a
yeah,
kid's, that's because today, if a kid's causing a ruckus, you can't just grab them and throw them out. You have to like get their parents' permission first.
not back in the day, man. You'd have security whopping
Yeah,
their
they,
ass
they
and throwing them out the
they
back door.
grab you by the arm and drag you out if need be. I've seen it happen.
Get the fuck out and walk home, Brenda. I know your mom.
We also grew up in a small town though, so yeah, it is kind of likely that the security guard knew.
That's true.
Anyway, any other thoughts on Better Man, or are we gonna let the people alone? Let that child alone.
Honestly, I know it's getting good reviews for the reviews that it's getting, but it's gonna fizzle. It's gonna
I
sizzle.
think
They're
so.
not gonna make their money back. Yeah, well, it just came out, right?
Yeah, that's the other thing, but I mean that's the worldwide. I wouldn't be shocked if it made 10 million in the US, but it's made 10 million everywhere. So
If it
I
gets
think the
popular
chimp.
here, watch he doesn't get popular in the United States again.
Although that's been the joke I'm making is like it was his last ditch effort to get popular, and instead of
And now you
putting
got to deal with
and now
us.
you got to deal with this lawsuit. We're gonna hire a lawyer named George, and he's gonna walk in the courtroom. They're gonna be like
They're gonna go, oh,
George,
George.
and he's just gonna go.
Ah,
I don't know why Arnold showed up.
ah,
Oh,
ah. It's like you're asking if he ate last hot dog. Ah,
oh.
ah.
All right, everyone. This has been the Average Intelligence Podcast. Hopefully, you're a little bit less average and a little bit more intelligent. But considering we talked about a biopic about a British pop star personified as a humanoid chimpanzee, I doubt it. But you know what we're about by this point, and we will keep you abreast of the pending legal, the pending litigation
We're coming for you, Robbie.
coming for you, Robbie. Technically, we're coming for the movie because I don't think it was Robbie's idea actually,
Yeah, fair
but he
enough.
signed
As
off
we
on it.
said,
But he signed off on it.
we're hiring Daily Wire's lawyer.
No, we're not. Their lawyer's terrible.
I'm just kidding.
I don't know. They get a lot of people to sign NDAs, so but yeah. So tune in next week when we show you how to not get screwed online. That's actually what we're going to talk about. Legitimately, that's not a joke. That was supposed to be this week's episode, but then this thing happened, and I said, "Listen, we need to call this bullshit out because
And we did.
yeah, George is coming for you."
George.
Anyway, bye.
I'm gonna go watch that bit right now.
Oh, it's George.
Ah.